Okay, let's unpack this. Today we're diving into something really practical for so many people. Getting better at English. You sent us this great essay outline, and it really maps things out.
Yeah, it's a good one. And what's interesting right away is how it emphasizes why English matters so much today.
Totally. It doesn't just say learn English. It calls it the global gateway language.
Exactly. That's a strong hook. It connects it directly to things like, science, international business, the internet,
Right. And accessing jobs, education.
and culture too.
Yeah.
Movies, music, books, all that stuff directly. It really frames English as sort of a key to opportunity.
So our plan here is to explore what this outline offers. We'll look at the challenges it mentions, the strategies it
And the
suggests.
tools, yeah.
Yeah.
The specific things it recommends to help you learn.
Exactly. Because the source is pretty realistic, isn't it? It acknowledges the tricky parts.
Oh, for sure. It points out common hurdles. Things like English grammar, always a fun one.
Aha! Tell me about it. And pronunciation. Nailing those sounds.
Yeah, and accents. Then there's just the sheer amount of vocabulary. It can feel, well, overwhelming.
And finding ways to actually practice consistently. That's often the biggest barrier, right?
Definitely. So how does the outline suggest tackling these? It seems to break it down by skill, which makes sense. Listening, speaking.
Reading, writing, the core four. So for listening, it mentions things like podcasts, hello.
Right. Podcasts, movies, news. And it specifically highlights using subtitles or transcripts. That's key for connecting sounds to words.
Good tip. And speaking, that's where people often feel a bit stuck.
Yeah. The source suggests practicing with native speakers if you can, maybe language exchange partners, or even joining speaking clubs.
And it mentions shadowing. That's an interesting one.
It is. It's not just repeating, is it? It's about mimicking the rhythm, the intonation, the whole flow of how someone speaks.
Helps with fluency and sounding more natural, I guess.
Exactly. Then for reading, we're starting with, say, a novel can be tough.
It suggests graded readers. Smart move.
Yeah, those are brilliant. They match the language level, the vocabulary to where you are, so you're not immediately lost.
Makes sense. Then building up to reading regular books, news, blogs, helps vocabulary grow naturally in context.
Right. And finally, writing. The outline suggests something simple but effective, keeping a journal.
Just writing regularly, essays, emails, whatever. And it mentions using grammar tools too, which can help spot mistakes and understand structure better.
Definitely useful. So beyond those skills, it also talks about broader strategies, right? And tools.
Yeah, it lists language learning apps, specifically mentions Duolingo, Memrise, Anki.
Anki. Probably mentioned because of its spaced repetition, that flashcard system.
Right, the one that shows you words just as you're about to forget them really helps lock things into long-term memory.
Smart. And the outline also lists general resources like YouTube, courses, flashcards, basically using a mix of tools.
But if we look at the really big picture strategy here, what does the source emphasize most?
I'd say consistency, building a daily routine, setting clear goals, maybe like SMART goals, specific, measurable.
Achievable,
Yeah.
relevant, time-bound,
Yeah.
and getting feedback, correcting errors. These are presented as like essential habits.
And immersion, too, even just trying to think in English sometimes, making it part of your internal world.
Okay, so wrapping this up. We've looked at the why English as this vital global tool. We've acknowledged the hurdles, grammar, pronunciation, practice.
And we've touched on those practical techniques from the source.
Ah.
Podcasts for listening, shadowing for speaking, graded readers, journaling for writing.
Combined with those consistent strategies, daily habits, clear goals, using apps and tools effectively, it really boils down to integrating it, doesn't it?
Yeah, making English part of your everyday life.
Which leads to a final thought, drawing from what your source implies. If mastering English really can open doors globally, better jobs, education, cultural experiences, what doors could you open by making it a real, consistent part of your daily journey? Something to think about.